Welcome back to NATOR'S Game Picks, ladies and gentlemen. Another week in the books of picks. We'll recap it real quick. Our Week 10 recap. Yours truly, I went 5-9, so 5 games right and 9 games wrong. Notable games here. The Bears started off this week of football, beating the Panthers at home. In the middle of the week on Sunday, the Bengals lost to the Texans at home. Last second field goal. We also had the Cardinals getting their first win since Kyler Murray's return over the Falcons. We also had a Seahawks score over the Commanders, 29-26. I predicted this to be 33-30. So I got the spread right, but not the score on right. So maybe that game would have been the game. And then finally, Monday Night Football ended with the Bills losing at home against the Broncos, putting the Bills at a 500 record of 5-5. So overall now for me, I'm 83-67. Definitely like to get to that century mark before I get to 80 losses. So let's see how it goes going forward. We're opening up week 11. We'll mention off the bye weeks. Falcons, Saints, Colts, and Patriots. Those are the 4 teams on bye. So we got 14 NFL matchups to get into. Let's go ahead and roll that carpet out for the introduction. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this week started with some good old AFC North football. Now, these 4 teams in the AFC North are very close to each other in the standings. We have the Bengals at the Ravens. This is the first matchup. This is a Thursday night football game. Both these teams played on Sunday. Both of them coming off losses. As we mentioned, the Bengals losing to the Texans. The Ravens lost to the Browns at home, a game they were up by 15 points in the second half. So a lot to prove for both teams here. They've already played earlier in the year where Joe Burrow was not fully healthy. The Ravens beat him pretty fairly. That game was in Cincy. This game in Baltimore. I'm giving the edge to the home team here. I think both defenses are going to compete. Joe Burrow usually is successful against the Ravens secondary. The Ravens secondary is very good in the first 3 quarters and seem to let a lot of plays slip in the fourth. So we'll get to see what happens here. I think the key player of this game is going to be the linebackers for the Ravens to stop the. I think the Bengals are going to try to establish a running game. As so for the responsibilities of the Bengals linebackers, considering that Baltimore is leading the league in offensive rushing yards. So, but at home here, I think the Ravens will handle business. Keep their place, take lead, and be first in the division. This division is very close, very tight race right now. And but I do think Baltimore is the most consistent offense, at least overall. So I got them winning over the Bengals 28-20, starting off our Week 11 on Thursday Night Football. And then we go on to Sunday. There are no more early game windows in Frankfurt or Germany anymore. So all these games will start. Earliest game Sunday will all be the same game starting at noon for Central Time and 1 Eastern Time. It'll be Steelers at the Browns. Both these 2 teams played a crazy game where the Browns went into Pittsburgh, and the Pittsburgh offense, I think, had under 200 total yards, but their defense was responsible for 14 points. So the Steelers won that game. This time around, the Browns are without Deshaun Watson for the rest of the season, who has to go to IR for a season-ending shoulder injury. So at this moment, no one knows who the Browns starting quarterback is going to be for this. But they have a good running game. Their defense is stout, and the Steelers on the road here are going to have to need a big game from Kenny Pickett, unless they can rely on a good running game. They're going to definitely try to establish the run, but this run defense of the Cleveland Browns is a top 5 unit, and defense in general. Myles Garrett's making his campaign for Defensive Player of the Year. And with the Ravens and the Bengals in the other half, this is also 2 teams. The Browns right now at a comfortable sitting at number 2. The Steelers sitting at number 3. The Bengals are the ones that are last. And this is going to be a pivotal game for both these 2 teams as well. I got this being a defensive stalemate and juggernaut. I don't think Kenny Pickett goes for over 175 yards passing. So I got the Browns winning at home 19-15. All right, that wraps us the AFC North. A lot of predictions there. All right, Raiders at the Dolphins. Dolphins are just coming off of a bye week. Raiders have won 2 straight games with their new interim head coach, Antonio Pierce, with Aiden O'Connell starting as their rookie quarterback. They were force-feeding Devontae Adams against the Jets on Sunday night, a game which they won. Came out to help their favor, but they still didn't score more than 20 points. And against a Dolphins unit, you have to expect to at least put up you have to if you have to try to match their scoring if you can't stop their defense. Coming off of bye week, they're healthy, they're fresh. They went into the bye week on a loss, so they weren't really happy, I'm sure. And coming out here, they're probably going to lay it on the Raiders at home. And unfortunately, I don't think that and the luck of the Antonio Pierce is going to help them against the Dolphins, especially not against this high-powered offense. Maybe they definitely need to generate a pass rush, but they also have to stop the Dolphins' running game. Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert, which the Dolphins are top 3 running the running offense in this league. The Raiders have not been the best against the run. So I got the Dolphins winning here at home over the Raiders, 34-14. All right, moving on to the Bears at the Lions, another divisional matchup. Bears have been decent lately. Defense have showed massive improvements. Cole Kmet, great tight end. Obviously, they still have DJ Moore, and their rookie quarterback has been able to win a few games for him. On the road against the Lions, not going to be easy here. The Lions are on a roll. They won at the Chargers. Scoring 41 points. So they are a high-scoring offense. They're also both these teams are top 5 in rushing offense. The Bears at 5 and the Lions at 4. So both these two teams are going to try to run the ball at each other. So it's going to be a battle of the line of scrimmage. Who wins the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, is going to determine this game. The team with the fewer penalties is definitely setting themselves up in a better position to take care of business late in the game. But I see this going the Lions' way. I don't see a lot to indicate that they're going to have a stinker at home here, especially against a division opponent, which they don't like. Bears don't like Lions. Lions don't like the Bears. So I got the Bears winning here. I got the Lions winning here at home, 31-16. All right, takes us to the Titans at Jaguars. I had the Jaguars beating the Niners last week. Definitely not the case. They had won 5 straight games before that. Coming out of a bye, laid an egg. Well, definitely didn't look competitive, getting beat up by the Niners. And with the Titans coming into town, also have their own struggles, trying to establish, keep a good, strong running game, and attack on offense. I think this is going to be a trap game for the Jaguars. I don't think they're going to take the Titans seriously enough. I mean, you should take any NFL team seriously, but I can just kind of see them going to this game like, oh, we'll handle Tennessee, and Tennessee can come in here and all of a sudden flip the game on its head, where the Jaguars are going to be the ones fighting to catch up in the third and fourth quarter of this game, where I see them playing kind of like we need to force the ball, air it out down the field. So Lawrence can have a big statistic game. Trevor Lawrence will have a big statistical game this game, but I do see the Titans being the ones in the lead most of the game. I can just see them being more disciplined for this game. Now they played a Bucs team similar to how the Titans are, aging and on the closed Super Bowl window, in my opinion. So they didn't find their groove here against the Buccaneers. But on the road against the Jaguars, where they're going to be road dogs, the odds are definitely going to be against the Titans. I think they can pull this off. So I got them winning this division game over the Jaguars, 23-20 as road underdogs. Chargers at the Packers. Packers have been very unfortunate. The Chargers are full of talent, very poor in execution. Seems like every game Derwin James gets a unnecessary roughness or helmet to helmet. It's just like, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. If even as a non-Chargers fan, that I would say that's kind of ridiculous. One or two of those could potentially, those are 50-50 calls. The Packers looked decent against the Steelers on the road. They did come out losing, but they started airing the ball out, and Jordan Love looked decent throwing the ball late in the game. Also, the Chargers are one of the bottom defenses against the pass. So I think this could be a game where the Packers can really open it up. I mean, they have some decent young receivers. I just feel like they haven't put a complete game together other than week 1 when Jordan Love had 4 touchdown passes. But he hasn't looked nothing like that since. So maybe it's due here against the Chargers team, which in spite of their coach is playing playing competitive, scoring points, but they're not winning the games. And this kind of sounds like Chargers alley. So Chargers at the Packers here, Lambeau Field. I think this one will go towards the Packers, and those Green Bay fans will have something happy to go home with. I got them winning here 27-24 over the Justin Herbert led Chargers. All right, and now Cardinals at Texans. Cardinals were looking decent with Kyler Murray, and I like their approach of having the backup quarterback do the quarterback sneak on the 1-yard line so you don't risk Kyler getting injured. And I think they're going to keep keep doing that going forward. They're not going to jeopardize him just because they're trying to win, just for the sake of some moments in a game. I think they're going to play it more smarter. I like their new coaching staff, their direction they're going in. And the Texans are one of the hottest teams in the league. Obviously, C.J. Stroud, rookie making a case for an MVP. Is going to be playing a defense that hasn't been horrible. They've been on the field a lot, but overall, the Cardinals' defense are not horrible. They just got Budda Baker back from injury. He played against the Falcons last week, and this is a guy that can definitely read the quarterback, especially a younger quarterback. Now, we know Stroud has been great, but maybe Budda Baker is a different kind of animal he hasn't seen yet, and I do believe that. We're going to see a good matchup here, I believe. In Houston, I think the Cardinals are going to steal this game, 30-28. I'm calling this, and it's going to be my upset of the week as well. Cardinals back-to-back weeks here on the upset alert, mainly because I don't think they're going to be favored in this game either. Even if I think this could go kind of like how that Jaguars-Titans game go. Obviously, it's a non-division game, but where I think the Cardinals take the lead early and they hold on to it, and the Texans are going to be the one having to, put up points late. So we'll see what happens. I got them. I got the Cardinals with the upset here. Cowboys at Panthers. Cowboys, I predicted them going 41-7. They scored 49 points, but did allow 10 additional points to that 7 to the Giants. This time around, they're going to be on the road against the Panthers team that seemed very directionless. Lost a horrible game on Thursday night against the Bears, a team that they traded their number 1 pick to. And it just hasn't been a good situation. And especially with the Cowboys coming in town, now feeling good off the last win, they're going to keep piling it up. I expect Dak Prescott to throw for another 4 touchdowns in this game. A weaker secondary. The Panthers defense have been on steady decline since their playoff push last year when they were pushed to make the playoffs with the Bucs after a very poor start to the season. I don't see it getting any better for him. I got the Cowboys beating them here on the road 48-10. I expect 48 points. And I'm gonna have a good time seeing it. So I got 48-10 over the Panthers. Cowboys go Cowboys. Big D, Big Blue all day. All right, so Giants at Commanders, divisional game here, NFC East. Giants, obviously, as mentioned, started third-string quarterback. They have a bunch of injuries in their secondary. Not very healthy overall. The Commanders, tough loss against the Seahawks. They're coming now home. I don't expect much from this game, but I do expect it to be very sluggish. The Giants will have chances to win this game. They'll be in great positions. I think their quarterback DeVito here makes more plays than he was able to do against the Cowboys. And I see the Commanders having to be the heroes at the end and close out this game. Somehow that's just how I see this team playing. Not really they traded away a lot of their defensive young players before the trade deadline. So maybe they're not so keen on their future in terms of certain positions, certain coaching figures. Obviously, I think Eric Bieniemy is doing a great job, but I don't know about their defensive scheme. So maybe that comes into question, but I do have him getting a win here against the Giants in Washington over the Giants, 20-13. All right, now we have the Buccaneers at the Bills. Now, the Brady-led Bucs, I think last year, the Brady-led Bucs went into Santa Clara and lost 35-7. So the Niners beat up on this team. This is pretty much the same defense. We have Devin White, Vita Vea, Levante David, Antoine Winfield Jr., Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, and those guys. Same defense is going to see the Niners. So this game is going to be up to Todd Bowles, how much he wants to stop, how much he can stop this Niners offense from doing whatever they want on them. Obviously, the Buccaneers offense need to possess the ball, keep the Niners offense off the field, and keep their defense on the field. But this defense is very elite as well, and they got back into their form, shook their rust off of that 3-game losing streak, beating up on the Jags last week. So I expect another beatdown here to some extent, unless the veterans and overall scheme of the Buccaneers can kind of buy them time. But it's going to be hard for Baker Mayfield to create something, especially with older receivers going against younger secondary and just a very hungry overall defense. And they're loaded with pass rushers. So they might have to look to give Baker some extra protection. Maybe run the screen game with Rachaad White, which they have been successful. But this game in Santa Clara, I see going the way of the Niners. Let me see here. There we go. I think the Buccaneers don't even get double digits. They'll possess the ball and have decent drives, but I don't think they cash in on a lot of them. So I got the Niners winning at home here over the Bucks 26-9. All right, now the Jets at the Bills. These two teams played a week one. So miraculously, the Jets pulled it off, losing Aaron Rodgers on the first drive to an Achilles, throwing in the unwanted quarterback Zach Wilson. He pulled it out. Obviously, we know that Josh Allen's turnover problems are well documented, and it got him in this game. Next time around, now the Buffalo at home, I don't think it'll get to him. I don't think Buffalo is going to improve much more. I mean, they're in a very bad position at 5-5 and a tough schedule ahead of them. But I think they handle the business against the Jets. Obviously, the Jets' defense is very top level. So it's going to be ugly, I feel. Jets offense not going to get to do much against the Bills defense, although the Bills defense is a little banged up as well. I see this game going to the Bills 22-18, and a good chance here for the Buffalo fans to kind of recapture their feet, because it feels like they're skydiving now when they're just fired their offensive coordinator. So we'll see here. Seahawks at Rams, another division matchup. A lot of division matchups this week. We have the Seahawks going on the road against the Rams, which say that Matthew Stafford is expected to start. And this kind of changes things. I didn't think he was going to be ready to start. The Seahawks they beat the Commanders the week before that. They lost to the Ravens. I still don't think the Seahawks, other than their running game, I don't see them being as consistent. Geno Smith isn't as consistent as he was the year before during his Comeback Player of the Year award. Now going to be in a dual match with Matt Stafford coming off injury. Matt Stafford's definitely going to want to bring this team back to a fighting stance, get them back on the winning column, and definitely upset a division opponent. Rams are at home, so I don't have this being an upset because I expect Stafford to come out here and play it like it might be his last game. Who knows? I think Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are going to have good games. There are going to be some good matchups to look forward to. Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon against those two aforementioned wideouts. So we'll get to see. Maybe this is a game where Noah Fant for the Seahawks can get involved just as much as Tyler Higbee for the Rams. And don't sleep on the Rams running game. They have a good young rookie in Kyron Williams. They might want to get going against the Seahawks here. So I got the Rams winning at home, 30-24 over the Seattle Seahawks. Giving the Rams a little bit some life now, and maybe to make a wild card push while putting the Seahawks a little bit on notice, knowing that these two teams have to play each other again. All right, and now we have the Vikings at the Broncos. Sunday Night Football, the final game on Sunday, is a team that's one of the unforeseen shocks of the league after they lost their starting quarterback, traded for a quarterback who was losing most of his games as the starter for another team, now is winning games for them, in Joshua Dobbs, the astronomer. Well, I got good news. Over the Broncos on the road, he's competing with Russell Wilson, who's been more of a conservative receiver. He's taken some shots lately too, but mostly conservative. I think the Vikings can come in here and upset a Broncos team that's been playing a lot better in the last 3.5 weeks. Obviously, this wouldn't be necessarily an upset. I think the Broncos are favored at home, and I want it to go their way. But for some reason, I've seen no quit and no laying over out of Josh Dobbs. And I think if he has the ball last, he's gonna bring his team back and put him in position for a field goal. So I got this game going 27 Vikings, 26 Broncos, where the road team gets a win. An impressive one. And they're going to keep fighting to match with Detroit in the NFC North. They're looking for a wild card spot. The Vikings are. And then finally, we finish off with Monday Night Football, Eagles at Chiefs. The Super Bowl preview, both these teams coming off bye weeks. I got the Eagles here. Probably coming out scoring first, kind of like a little bit how the Super Bowl looked. But the Chiefs at home, this is Arrowhead. This isn't Mexico City. This isn't Frankfurt or London or a neutral Super Bowl ground site for that matter. This is Arrowhead Stadium. And always count on this defense to play extra gritty at home. And they've been very good. Not obviously, they get overshadowed by Mahomes in that offense, but I think the defense here is who's going to come through, slowing down the Eagles' run game, forcing them to throw the ball. And these corners are not bad. I think they can make plays on A.J. Brown contested passes and Devontae Smith schemed routes. So we'll get to see how this works. Maybe Dallas Goedert is going to be the one that Jalen Hurts needs to utilize a little bit more in this matchup. But I got this going back and forth here. And the final score prediction for this one, I got the Chiefs prevailing again. Chiefs over the Eagles here, 31-28. Home team prevails at home. Most of the home teams are prevailing according to my picks. Again, the bye week, the teams on byes are the Falcons, Saints, Patriots, Falcons. And this is week 11, 1 week away from Thanksgiving week, which is week 12, where we'll have 3 games on Thursday night football, and the rest of the games will follow on Sunday, and then of course on Monday night. So that wraps us up, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for being here. Always, the appreciation is much is always appreciated. The love and support, likes and subscribes, all that good stuff. We're here because we love football, but we also love the purity of football. We're not just in it for the boom, flash, and betting numbers and fantasy stuff. Because at the core of this is human beings and what they're made of and what they're showing you that they're made of, and that what makes it fun. So always remember that on Sundays. Tell your loved ones you love them, enjoy the games with them, and don't take everything too personal. We gotta learn to let up a little bit. Laugh at stuff. I make mistakes all the time. I'm able to laugh at them. That's what just helps us grow. So message of the week right there. Take it easy, and keep praying for those football players on Sundays. No injury free. Love you guys.